Okay, today what I'd like to do is go in and show you how to configure the encoder. By now you probably have it downloaded and you have it sitting on your desktop. Now you got to figure out how to configure it. The encoder, it looks like it's a complicated tool to work with, but believe me, once you use the encoder on a daily basis, it's a sweet tool and you will love it. Okay, now what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to show you that I'm in the models area, as you can see, and I'm going to click on number 4. That's the configuration page. We'll go here. Now, what I'd like for you to do is take the time and go down through and read. And basically, we've put together this page. It's a very simple step-by-step instructions on how to configure the encoder. But once we get done here and I show you step by step, we'll save it and you shouldn't have to come back to this page again. But by chance if you do, like I said, it's a very simple step-by-step instructional page. And we've also went and took pictures and made it a visual page. This way you can see the pictures from your encoder. Okay, now let's go back up here, and what I'm going to do here next is I already have it downloaded on my computer. As you can see here, I have it open, and I have all my settings preset, so that way it'll speed things up a little bit. Now, another thing is, too, I wanted to explain is in this picture here, you can't see anything because, due to the fact it's a video over top of a video. So, but when you open your encoder, you'll see your picture, your face, whatever. Now, let's talk briefly about this here real quick, okay? We get a lot of models that will send us emails, call us, whatever, and they'll say, well, how come I look really cloudy or wavy or whatever inside my encoder? Well, okay, let me explain to you a little bit in detail what the encoder does, okay, and why it's so important that you use the encoder. What the encoder does, I try to explain it to models this way. Imagine the internet as a garden hose, okay? And when you're streaming, you're pushing water through the garden hose. And believe me, when you're streaming, you're pushing a lot of data. So what you got to keep in mind is, okay, if you have, I'm going to say, let's say you have a client from China, okay, because we're worldwide. Let's say that, you know, he's paying to watch you, okay? Now, he wants your show to be perfect. I mean, he wants it perfect. That's what he's paying for. So you want him to be happy with your show, so you want him to see a picture perfect quality show. So that's what the encoder does. Now, what happens here is the encoder takes your stream, okay, and it smashes it down, and it pushes it through that hose, the internet, faster and smoother. Now, the reason why a lot of models will contact us and say, hey, how come, you know, I look different in the encoder? The reason being is that's what you're seeing before you go through the encoder. Please keep that in mind, okay? The encoder is, you're basically, what the encoder's seeing is what you're seeing. So what the encoder does is it takes that picture, makes it smoother, smashes it down, and pushes it through the internet faster and smoother, like I said. So the best way to see what you look like is to log on to one of our websites, Internet Cam Jobs Live, Sex Talk Live, you know, so forth, and put your username, model name, up in the search box and pull yourself up, and then go live. Then you'll be able to compare the two to see, oh, okay, over here I'm looking crystal clear. In the encoder, I look cloudy. So that's a very important thing to remember. All right, so with that being said, all right, the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to start on our video settings. There again, like I said, just take the time, go down through here and read each and every one of these steps. And then what you do is you come over here and you just have a drop-down window, as you can see here, and you basically just put in what it tells you to do over here on this page. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch base with you real quick on is the fact of, all right, the frame rate and also the byte rate, okay? Now, you can adjust the byte rate and you can adjust the frame rate, okay? The reason why is because it all depends on what equipment you're running with. If you're running with top-notch equipment, then you'll want to adjust the frame rate up to, say, 15, okay? Or the byte rate, say, up to 800, 950, whatever. This is just a basic setting because we have no idea what kind of equipment you're running with. So keep that in mind. If you're running with newer equipment, okay, a newer webcam, a newer computer, then you might want to play with that frame rate and that byte rate. Also, keep in mind, if you have real fast internet speed, that you might play with your bit rate a little bit and jack it up, because the faster your internet, the faster the bit rate. So that's two things you got to keep in mind. These two settings right here, frame rate and bit rate, can be adjusted. It all depends on what you're using. All right, now with that being said, let's go back over here and we go down to our next step, which is the audio setting. All you do is you come over here and you just follow simple steps. And it's very simple to follow these steps. There again, like I said, I have mine all preset here just to show you. And you just go down through each and every one. We give you a visual here, for that way you can see also. Then you go over here to number 4, which is your panel options. Okay? As you can see, I have the input clicked off. I have the output video and the audio clicked. It tells you to do that right here. Now, the next step is very, very important, okay? It's the savings of your settings, okay? Now, one other thing I wanted to touch base with you real quick is on make sure that you click the auto adjust and save to file. Now, this next step here, like I said, is very, very important, okay? Because we get a lot of models that'll, they download it, they take the time, they go through this, they get all their settings set, and then what will happen is the next time they go to stream or, whatever, their settings are not the same. But they don't realize that, okay? When they open up the encoder, they don't realize that these settings have changed. And what you got to keep in mind is the encoder is a very delicate tool, okay? And if you reboot your computer, say, or if you download a different program or some other kind of program, it will mess with the settings. It will change the settings. So that's why this next step that I'm going to show you is so, so, so important. Okay, so with that all being said, let's go and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, one other thing, too, is when you are streaming, each and every time, please read this right here. Each and every time that you stream, you must open up the HD encoder, okay? So that's why it's such an important tool, because it's part of your streaming. That's what it's part of. So, all right, now, what we'll do here now is I'm going to show you how we have all the settings saved, okay? Now, what you do then is you come up here in this corner right here, and I'll bring this over here just a little bit. You go over here in this corner, the top left-hand corner, you click File. Now, it's very simple, okay? You have the settings all saved, okay? You got them exactly how you want them. So what you're going to do is you want to save your profile, because there again, this is your encoder. So what you do then is you open up, this will open up here. Now what I always do is I always save it to my desktop, and as you can see, I have it saved as an encoder, okay? And there again, what you'll do is you'll type in here whatever you want to save it as. I highly recommend that models use their model name. That way it's on their desktop and they know, okay, well, this is what this is all about. So basically just put your model name in there and you hit save. It's that simple. Now, what that has done is it has saved all your settings. So it doesn't matter if you reboot or you download another program or whatever, you still have all your settings saved. Now you're going to ask, okay, well, I open up the encoder the next time I go to stream. What do I do? Well, it's very simple. You go back up here to your file, okay, and you open your profile, okay. You go to the desktop, and boom, whatever you have it saved on your desktop as, you click Encoder. I have Encoder. You would have your model's name if that's what you choose, and you would hit Open. Now watch what happens. You see the encoder will adjust itself, okay? That's exactly what it's supposed to do. There again, you see it flicked and it adjusted itself. That's exactly what it's doing, because what it's doing is it's setting your settings that you had, okay? Your pre-settings, it's bringing it all back up. So that way, like I said, if you booted your computer or rebooted your computer, or if you downloaded another program or whatever, it's just going to, all it's going to do is going to reset, and it's going to bring up what your past settings were. And there you go. Now, on our next video, which is number 5, we'll show you how to bring up the encoder and then also bring up the chat rooms, okay, and you use both at the same time. That's what our next video is all about. But as you can see, downloading these settings and downloading the encoder and downloading these settings and getting these settings is really not that hard. And then there again, like I said, once you've got all the settings set, okay, all you just got to remember to do is come up here to your file and open your profile, because you already have your settings preset. Okay, we'll talk to you next time on the next video. And we'll show you how to, like I said, we'll show you how to combine both of them together, the encoder and the chat room, and we'll get you going, we'll get you live. All right? Thanks.